Okay, let's look at the June exam, question paper 2, the chemistry paper for grade 10, Limpopo, June 2019. Which one of the following explains why matter expands on heating? The spaces between the particles increase. This looks like a promising answer, but let's not just sign it off yet. The particles expand. This is wrong, because the moment you can't make particles expand. They are the size they are. It's just the spaces between them that change. The potential energy of the particles increases. No, if the potential energy increases, the particles are actually getting closer together. If the kinetic energy decreases, something is getting colder. And this says expands on heating, so this is completely wrong. So the answer is A, the spaces between the particles increase. During an experiment, a group of learners observe ice melting in a beaker. Which one of the following best explains the learners' observations? The ice is releasing heat energy. It's melting. It's absorbing energy if it's melting, not releasing it. The ice is undergoing a physical change. This looks possible. Let's see if there's any other more possible answer. The ice is undergoing a chemical change. No, it is not. It is just changing its state. And then the ice is decomposing into elements, hydrogen and oxygen. No, water is very stable. You have to do electrolysis to make this happen, so this is also wrong. Which one of the following is a mixture? Air, a diamond, distilled water, sodium chloride. This is a pure substance. It's an ionic compound, but it's pure. Distilled water is supposed to be pure. A diamond is one element only, so the only one that is a mixture is air of nitrogen, oxygen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, and some other more minor elements. The number of neutrons in an atom of sodium-2311 is, they want to know the neutrons. So the 11 is how many protons and electrons there are. The 23 is the mass. So you find the neutrons. You say 23 minus 11 is 12, and that is your answer. Which one of the following groups of elements are classified as halogens? Lithium, sodium, and potassium are the alkali metals. Neon, argon, and krypton are the noble gases. Silicon, germanium, and arsenic are metalloids. So it leaves fluorine, chlorine, and bromine. This is something you have to learn. If you don't learn it, you just lose 2 marks. Then we come to 1.6. According to the kinetic molecular theory, the particles of a solid vibrate in their fixed positions. This is true. And have a fixed shape. This also looks true. Are free to move and are compressible? No, that is a gas. Are free to move and have a fixed shape? No, that is nothing that we know. Vibrate in their fixed positions and are compressible. No, solids are not compressible. They have a fixed shape. So number C almost sounds like a liquid. But remember that number C takes the shape of the container. It's not a fixed shape if you're a liquid. So this one has to be A. They are vibrating, and a solid has a fixed shape. You can't squash a solid. Which one of the molecules below consists of the greatest number of atoms? Well, this is hydrogen, 2 atoms. This is water, 2 hydrogens and oxygen. That's 3 atoms. This is methane, 1 carbon and 4 hydrogens is 5 atoms. Here is sulfuric acid, 2 hydrogens, a sulfur, and 4 oxygens. That is 7 atoms. It's clearly sulfuric acid. Which one of the following electron configurations represents an ion of an alkali metal? Okay, so we remember the alkali metals always have 1 electron in the outermost shell. So this here, D, is an alkali metal. But they asked you an ion of an alkali metal. So an ion of an alkali metal actually has a stable noble gas structure. So it is A, which is helium, because it has a filled shell. If this was to be the next one down, we would need the p orbital to be filled. This one has an unfilled p orbital. It's not an ion. This is a very unstable configuration. This wants to gain an electron. And this is the actual atom that is an alkali metal. That's not an ion. So it is A. The empirical formula of a certain carbon compound is CH2O. Which one of the following can be the molecular formula of the compound? So it has to be a multiple of this. So what we have to do is we have to take this formula and multiply it by 2 or 3 or 5 or whatever. So this carbon is 1, the oxygen is 1. If we multiply the carbon by 2, it becomes C2, the H becomes H4, and the O becomes O2. So if there's a C2, H4, O2, that will be the answer. And there it is. That is correct. This one is wrong because it's not a multiple of this. Can you see this is 2 times 1, but that is 3 times 2. You can't do that. That's something different. Here, the oxygen is still 1. You can't multiply this without multiplying everything. And here, they've tripled the hydrogen, but only doubled the carbon and oxygen. It's a completely another compound. It's wrong. Which one of the following balanced equations represents a dissociation process? Remember, if you dissociate, you are an ionic solid, and you dissociate usually in the presence of a polar compound like water, and you split into your ions. So this is an ion and an ion going to a solid. This is completely the reverse of dissociation. Here is a solid going to aqueous ions. This looks promising. This is a chemical reaction. It is not a dissociation process. This is actually a reduction oxidation reaction. And this is a precipitation reaction. So that is the correct equation, 1.10b.